Everyone knows that football and concussions go hand in hand at the professional level, but while most attention is focused on the NFL, the current concussion crisis is also prevalent at the high school level. Austin High School athletic trainer Molly Kidd knows this firsthand. We asked her how many concussions she has seen this year.
Well, this is my first year at Austin High, but this season we were pretty lucky. We only saw about 6. But I have seen somewhere around 16 in one season.
A concussion is a traumatic brain injury that may occur when the head hits an object or a moving object strikes the head. It can affect how the brain works both short-term and long-term.
There are many short-term effects of concussions. Dizziness, nausea, lightheadedness, trouble focusing, blurred vision, eye tracking issues, balance issues, short-term memory loss. Long-term effects of concussions are very similar to the short-term effects. They're just obviously long-term.
For athletes like senior Richard Cunningham, 4 concussions on the field meant trouble in the classroom and worries about problems that might be long-lasting.
I think they're a legitimate issue to be concerned about. I'd never be the kind to advocate against football or putting an end to the game like there are some people out there, but definitely a serious issue for consideration because the long-term effects of concussions on people like boxers and football players are just unreal to see some of these men.
Last fall, a report funded by the NFL looked at the concussion rate for high school athletes in different sports. For football, athletic trainers reported an average of 11.2 concussions for every 10,000 athletic exposures, defined as a single practice or a game for one athlete. For a program the size of Austin High's, with 195 freshmen, JV, and varsity players total, that translates to 1 concussion for every 6 games or practices. Because medical data is private, we don't know how many concussions have been reported this year, but players do tell us that at least some concussions go unreported. For one athlete at Austin High, the consequences of multiple concussions were evident, but he decided not to report them.
I have had about 15 to 20 concussions, and I've only recorded 4.
This student agreed to speak with us only if he could remain anonymous. That's because he has too many concussions but continues to play. But that commitment on the field can have a big cost in the classroom.
Concussions haven't had a visible effect, in my opinion, on my academics, but I do feel as if the concussions have diminished my ability to concentrate on certain subjects, especially like math, adding numbers. It seems a lot harder, or figuring out a puzzle is just a lot more tedious than it should be.
Dell Children's Concussion Center in Austin, Texas asked schools to make academic accommodations for players with concussions. These accommodations include things like work reduction, extra time, given notes, and attendance restrictions, all of which is needed because students with concussions have significant difficulties with their work.
So kids not reporting their concussions are just, it's a scary thing. I had tried to hide my concussions, and I had friends saying like, no, Richard, like football is not worth serious brain health.
Richard knows that for some players, passion for the game overshadows their drive to do well in school and puts them at risk for both short-term and long-term problems.
I miss football more than probably anyone out there, but it was just what was in my health's best interest. And we consulted a lot of doctors, trainers, coaches, and we had to put our priorities in line and consider health before, getting to play football.
But Richard also discovered a silver lining, a sport with a far smaller rate of concussions and a healthy brain that's focused on learning.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would kill to be back on the football field and be able to play and lace up one more time, but I've been blessed that concussions put things in line for me, and I was able to focus more on my baseball path and my academics. And as much as I do miss football, it's been a blessing in disguise having to put it up.
Reporting from Austin High School for the PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs program, this is Alexa Ramirez.